All right. Hello, my name is Omar Cadena. I am a restaurateur, chef owner of a restaurant called Omarcitos Latin Café here in Chicago, Illinois. We're located 3801 West Fullerton Avenue in the Logan Square neighborhood.
What is your culinary heritage like?
That's a very complicated one to answer. Honestly, I was born in a neighborhood of Chicago, which is the most diverse neighborhood in the city of Chicago. And if you know your history of Chicago, Chicago is also one of the most segregated cities of all United States. So the irony is I was born into a neighborhood that literally represented the United Nations on one square city block. And I'm not even over exaggerating that. I've been trying to find the picture. I had a picture from when I was a child um, on my block, and every kid in that picture was from a different heritage. There was a Filipino kid, an Assyrian, another Cuban, a Puerto Rican, a Costa Rican, Guatemalan, an Indian, Korean. It was just wild. But as far as my menu goes, I think I've always been so enamored by being Latino and the different Latin backgrounds that exist. I was at a lecture one time for Juno Diaz giving he was giving, no, not a lecture, but he was giving the author Juno Diaz was talking about his book, The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. And he was describing something else, but he was talking about the existence of the Caribbean and about Latin America, and how, we're a product, our people are a product of not of negative aspects. There was colonization, there was raping, there was slavery, there was murder, there's all kinds of terrible things. But out of all that, like a phoenix out of the fire, rose the Latin people. Latino, Hispanic, call it what you want. I know that there's perfect definitions. Forgive me, I don't want to offend no one. Um, I just think it's all beautiful, man. It's such a beautiful thing. Yeah, I use Salvadorian sour cream because I love the taste of it. But I also love pupusas. I also love the turkey sandwiches that Salvadorians make. My tia, my mom's sister, who has her caretaker is Salvadorian and owns a restaurant in El Salvador. And she was telling me the story about how in her restaurant, the turkey sandwiches, people would make uh they would stand in line for blocks to eat these. And I was like, you have to tell. I have this really weird, uncanny ability of listening to recipes and watching them, and I could recreate them. Not always perfect on the first shot. It may take me a few times adjusting this, that, and the other, but I hit the nail on the turkey sandwich, and I did it for a pop-up one time. It's a very laborious process, but it's a labor of love, as with most things that I cook. And I would hope with anyone who cooks, because they do it out of love. But um, it was really cool. I got to do that sandwich, and it sold really well. But going back and talking about the neighborhood I grew up in, I was just enveloped in so many different cultures. So, after 20 plus years of running restaurants for other people, I thought to myself, when I opened my place, I guess the proper term would be pan Latin, because I'm here, I'm there. I'm not specifically in one spot. But I think for the old school Latino people here in Chicago, it's a little difficult sometimes, because they come up to the window and they're like, so what kind of food do you serve? And I try not to be a smart ass, but unfortunately I'm a kitchen guy, so it's sometimes second nature. But I serve good food. It's Latin American food. They're like, well, what culture? I'm like, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not confining myself to saying I'm just Cuban food or I'm just Ecuadorian food. Like, I really think it's the dopest thing in the world that I'm Latin, man. I'm Latino. I'm Latino. I'm Hispanic, and I wanna celebrate that. There's so many parts of Latin America that make. I love all of it, man. I love all of it, and I want to celebrate that, and I want to share that with the world, because God, it makes me emotional, and I want to share that emotion with everyone. So yeah,
That
there's parts of this, that, and the other in that. I have a guy who works who's Mexican that works. I have a Mexican and a Venezuelan in my kitchen right now.
¿Cómo te identificas entonces? ¿Como gringo o latino?
Wow, es una pregunta muy bien puesta. A mí me enseñaron y me criaron que respetara yo soy americano, pero norteamericano, pero de los Estados Unidos. Porque fíjate que esta conversación que tú me estás, esta pregunta que tú me estás, es una conversación que tuvimos en mi cocina con mis trabajadores. Como te estaba explicando, mi chama de Venezuela, que también es es vecina mía, y ella es tremenda repostería. Ella hace repostería, panadera. La tipa es una fiera. Deja eso. Lo mejor que hay en este mundo. Bendecido por tenerla yo a ella. Y después tengo el chamaco mexicano, que sin embargo pusimos un plato mexicano en el menú por él y se ha vendido como loco. Pero yo me identifico más que nada, sí, yo nací aquí en los Estados Unidos, de los Estados Unidos, pero soy latinoamericano. Porque mi
Um,
primer lenguaje es español. Yo tuve dificultades en la escuela porque no me dejaron pasar del primer grado al segundo grado porque no hablaba inglés.